and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Hello and welcome. It's a brand new week and you're tuned in to the best in paranormal talk radio. This is Beyond the Darkness. I'm your host, Dave Schrader, and ladies and gentlemen, back across the board where he belongs, the one, the only, the master of disaster himself, Mr. Tim Dennis. Hi, Tim. Good to have you back, man. It was a lonely, cold week last week.
It was a lonely, cold week.
Except for Monday, of course. You pre-recorded that with me before you went in for your bionic foot.
Well,
and the eye implants.
There's that. Yeah.
And the penile enlargement.
Right.
So,
oh, my God. Am I large now?
Are you?
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah. When I get excited now, I can't bend my knee. I'm just saying.
That is large. You might have overdone it.
I might have done it.
Might have
overdone it. A little too much.
Speaking of overdoing it, we had a great week of shows last week, even though you weren't part of them, Tim. There were still some really great guests. But this week, we've got a really nice mix of topics. How do you like this? Of course, tonight we have Supernatural News with Supernatural News team Tim Dennis and Dave Schrader.
Yeah.
Parashare a little later on.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow, Tuesday, The Beast of Boggy Creek.
Ooh,
the search
like
for Southern Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Whoop, y'all! Whoop! You think that's what he sounds like?
I think so, yeah. There's probably a y'all in there.
And remind me, when we get done with this list, to tell you what about my filming a little bit earlier last week.
Yeah.
Okay? So, Tuesday, tomorrow night, The Beast of Boggy Creek, The Search for Southern Sasquatch. Lyle Blackburn is joining us. Wednesday, Tim, The Great Pyramid Hoax.
Hoax?
Yeah, the conspiracy to conceal the true history of ancient Egypt.
I like it.
Turns out it's all made out of Legos, Tim.
Really?
No. Thursday, we're going to be talking to the Ghost Brothers. Well, at least one of the bros.
Well,
from TLC's hit TV series of the same name, The Ghost Brothers.
One's better than none, right?
Their new series kicks off this Friday, so we're going to talk to this irreverent group about their show. Have you watched it yet?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've not seen it.
All right. I'm going to send you the screener for their new episode.
All right.
You know what it is? It is a fun show.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have the same tight feel you get in all these other shows.
Okay.
These guys genuinely act like they're having fun.
Okay.
And having fun spooking each other throughout the entire thing. All right. That's on Thursday's show. Friday, Tim, would you believe it? Mysterious tales from people you'd least expect. That's right. We've gone to your high school, Tim. We've talked to your janitor about your cleanliness in high school.
What?
Yeah, that's a mysterious moment.
Oh, boy.
No, but that's our topic on Friday, and we're going to be talking with Karen Stolznow. She's written the book, Would You Believe It? Mysterious Tales from People You'd Least Expect. So it's kind of a neat little week, something different, a little change going on. Plus, of course, the Theater of the Mind will be on Friday.
Did the janitor tell you I spent 3 years in sweatpants?
Yeah. Oh. But what kid in our age group didn't?
That's true.
Thank God Zubas had not been released yet.
Well, I love me some Zubas.
Speaking of, I actually witnessed something. You know, we're in St. Cloud at KNSI, radio station, who allows us to do all of our podcasting needs here and where I can broadcast coast to coast from.
Right.
Very kind people let us in here to record these shows, so you get a much more dynamic, rich sound. So when you listen, you can really enjoy the tonality of my voice. Much better than on my tinny microphone back at home. Anyway, as I'm driving in today to start recording, I saw a man, with a man bun.
Oh.
Not a fan.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Second of all, wearing Zubas.
Oh, my.
Third of all, wearing man clogs.
No.
Man clogs. I'm not talking like Crocs. I'm talking the wooden bottom shoes with the leather front.
Like he was going to start dancing.
Man clogs, Zubas, and a man bun.
Yikes.
Yeah. I think Linus, intern, almost taller than me now again,
right.
part two. Yeah. He's created his own hairdo. He's going to call it the Man Muffin, the Minnesota Man Muffin. On top of his head. But I'm not a fan of the look of what I saw today. I don't know if it's this kind of kitschy, quirky, or was this guy just so lazy? Are Zubas back?
They have
That's
been
paranormal in itself.
Well, how should I put this nicely? Because St. Cloud has been so good to us. St. Cloud is a little behind the times.
Are they?
Zubas were back.
I noticed they got in that moving picture theater. They got that new movie E.T.
And they do talk now. Those pictures,
Them talkies. They got them finally here in St. Cloud.
The talkies do. They're quite popular here.
I think from 88 to 98. I don't think you lived in anything outside of Zubas.
No, give me a little credit. I did get out of him around 93, 94.
98, folks. Don't
No, it was 94.
or 98, one or the other.
But the Zubas did come back for I think about 5 years.
I'm going to dig up pictures of you to post because I want to show the Zubas
No, I had
and the Richard Marx man mullet you were rocking for a while.
I did post a picture from
Your hair was glorious.
90. Gosh, I was in Whitehall at the time. I want to say it was 94.
Mm-hmm.
The other day on Facebook, on my Facebook, and Teddy was in it. It was
I saw that.
Yeah. And I had sweatpants on.
God
I
rest
did
his
not
soul.
have.
We miss
No. He's
Teddy.
alive. He's alive. Teddy's alive.
Always alive in our heart.
No. He's alive. He's on Facebook.
I know. I
He
understand.
posts
Tim.
every
It's hard
day.
to let go sometimes.
No,
and
he's
just,
here.
you know.
He was at his son's baseball tournament.
Oh, I'm sure he's there in the hearts of everybody around him.
No,
It's
I mean
a
he was in the
beautiful thing.
crowd. He was filming.
I know.
mean,
He's like film. It's like he's hovering over the entire crowd, watching
no,
his son play baseball. It's amazing.
He's alive.
No, see, this is one of those convergence moments, Tim.
No,
This is one of those what I hate to refer to as the Mandela effect. I think it's better to refer to it as the "Who brought Kirk Douglas back from the dead" effect. I recall our good friend from college passing away, and it was a sad time.
I think he just.
And you recall that he's alive. I don't know. I
he
never
really
hear
is.
from him, so I can't back it either way.
He wished me a happy birthday on Facebook last
in
year.
your heart, I know.
No, he did. He really did. I can go back.
You know,
and
you can
show
set your accounts to just wish people happy birthday.
No.
He probably did that before the passing.
No, I'm sure he's still alive. Dude.
All right. And I want to thank everybody who's been supporting the show and using the Amazon link. Thank you so much. That is fantastic. If you love our show, you want to keep it on the air, one way to help us out is whenever you're going to purchase through Amazon.com, go to podcast1.com. Not kick it, because that could break your computer or phone.
Yeah.
But click on the Killer Deals link. Then follow it down to the Beyond the Darkness banner. Click that. You'll find all the links for Amazon there that you can use. Click the one that corresponds with your geographical area, and then place your orders through that. And every purchase you make, a small portion of that goes to paying all of the facility fees and all of the streaming charges and everything that we need to cover to keep the show on the air. So thank you all for that love and support and being such great Amazon sponsors with us. All right, Mr. Dennis. It's been a week. A lot seems to have happened in the world around us.
Yes.
Right. Let's get to it. Where are we going to begin in today's journey into the supernatural news?
Well, Dave, I've accrued a lot of love over the last week and a half from a lot of people since I've been away.
You got a whole lot of love.
I'm about to destroy it
You got
right
a whole
now.
lot of love. Uh-oh. What?
Well, it's not that I'm trying to get political with the first story.
No. But you got to report the news as it comes in.
I got to report what I got to report. I'm a journalist, Dave. Try not to choke over there. I'm a journalist, Dave, and I got to report what I got to report.
Okay.
It seems that there are witches out there casting a mass spell against our president, Donald Trump.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of Donald Trump's opponents believe that they will have to wait 4 more years to see him leave the White House. However, America's witches are more optimistic. At the stroke of midnight on Friday, followers of witchcraft across the U.S. performed a mass spell designed to stop the president from doing harm, as they see
that's
it.
good. There's nothing bad with sending good intentions to the president and stopping him from bad ideas. We always pray for wisdom for our leaders anyway.
We do, but I think this might have been a little different. Yeah. A Facebook group devoted to the ritual has attracted over 10,500 likes and coined the hashtag Magic Resistance. Yeah, I think this might be a little...
That sounds bad, because if you're magic resistance,
Yeah.
doesn't that mean magic doesn't work on you? That might be sending a dual notice to the magic community.
Yeah.
Magic is like, yes, we're going to get together and we're going to affect Donald Trump. But wait, it's magic resistance, so maybe we shouldn't waste our time.
Right.
You think that's how magic works?
Well, I would think so.
It's a confusing time.
It's an oxymoron, I think, is what we would call it. The development has sparked fury among Christian conservatives who have accused the witches of declaring spiritual war.
Okay.
Writer Michael Hughes, who described himself as a magical thinker, and aren't we all if you think about it, posted a version of the spell online saying he had seen multiple versions on private witchcraft groups.
Okay.
In it, he suggests using a stubby orange candle. I'll let you ruminate on that one for a minute. An unflattering picture of Mr. Trump and a Tower tarot card.
A Tower tarot. Oh, for Trump Tower.
Right.
Interesting. A stubby orange.
A stubby orange
Uh-huh.
candle.
Okay. Well, that fits in because last week when we were talking about all of the strange rituals, we found, when people are burning like a green candle to attract money, when you actually burn the green candle, you're deflecting, you're pushing that thing away.
Right.
So this would make sense because if you're going to burn the stubby,
right,
the stubby orange candle,
yes.
Do you think that it would make it more effective if you took like the silk off the top of cornstalk and laid it above the candle before you lit it to give it more of a true impact and effect?
Right.
I'm not siding either way here. I just want to go on the record. I'm just saying for true work, for real magic, if you make it look more like it, wouldn't that work?
I think for it really to work, Dave, you want to find somebody with small hands to grab the stubby orange candle and use
I saw enough of that hanging out with you in college.
Hey, wait a minute. My hands are just fine.
Yeah.
I'll have you know.
But that doesn't answer your stubby orange candle issue. All right.
That was a baby carrot I was eating. Just saying. In a yoga position.
Yeah. All right.
Followers of magic are told to carve the president's name into the candle using a pin.
A pin.
A pin.
Not a knife. Not an X-Acto blade.
A pin.
A pin.
Mainly because it's a stubby orange candle.
No.
Recite an incantation and then burn his picture in the flame.
All right. That just seems negative.
It does, doesn't it? The words of the spell include a plea to the Wiccan deities to bind Donald J. Trump so that his malignant works may fail utterly and so that he shall not break our... I don't know what this word is.
All right. Break our hearts.
Polity? Scritty polity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he won't break our scritty polity, Dave.
Okay.
Although they were gone back in the 80s.
Yeah, they've been broken for many years.
Yeah, they have been. Usurp our liberty or fill our minds with hate, confusion, fear, or despair.
I could go for some usurp right on my pancakes right now.
I could too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Nice maple usurp.
Or the carrot usurp.
Oh, no, I don't like that corn
It's
stuff.
good in a pinch.
So, wouldn't it, I don't know, because witchcraft, and maybe the witches out there listening can, before you turn a curse against Tim and I for reporting this, wouldn't it make more sense? I thought if you're a witch, you work in the light. You work in a positive way because what you send out negatively comes back to you. Wouldn't it make more sense to send out positive intentions that our leader's mind be cleared, that his heart be opened, and that wisdom prevails? Wouldn't that be a much more powerful spell? So this is what I'm going to recommend to all of our listeners. No matter which side of the political fence you're leaning on, instead of burning short, stubby orange candles, instead of negative connotation, let's do this. Why not? Take a picture of Trump at his worst. And burn that in effigy as though you're giving that up and that away, and that we're going to and replace it with a nice picture of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And then let's just pour intentions on this.
Right.
And focus positivity towards our president, because there's nothing we can do as people right now to get him out of office.
Right.
So maybe what we should all do is, instead of focusing on the fighting and the negativity and the break between us, maybe we should focus on the best way to send power and intention to this man to make wise choices that are good for the world and for our country and for our people, instead of just trying to wish him bad. And I don't think we need more bad and corrupt from anybody.
Absolutely. Just because you don't like the ride on the Titanic, you don't want the captain to sink the ship.
Well, you might, if you're having a bad day at the craps table, you might. I've been there. And
just a note to the witches out there: if you don't like the story I'm reading and you want to get back at me, after the recent surgery, you want to find a long 2-foot pink candle.
No, Tim, that's not true. Not true at all. Your foot looks good. It's not pink and it's not 2 feet long. It's all healthy looking.
Okay.
And and truthfully, if you do have a problem with Tim regarding this, I know emails can get problematic and Facebook gets all bugged up. Just give him a call at 612.
No, Dave.
What?
Dave.
Well, wouldn't it be easier if you could discuss your point with him at 612?
Dave.
What?
I got to keep the line open for doctors and infusion nurses. And I'm still, technically, You're
right. You know what? Maybe if you guys did like a million witch march right to his house over at 45.
No. I got to keep the driveway open for the infusion nurse.
Well, they could just stand in they'll just go straight into the yard and totally avoid. Just go between the two gargoyle statues at the end of the driveway and cut right into the lawn. Avoid the topiary cut in the shape of Smurfs. I'm still not sure why Tim and his family do that, but
I love jokey Smurfs.
Yeah, and then just go in there and then just chant to bring Tim out. And much like Ava Perone, he'll make an appearance at the at the grand porch and address you all.
People.
And his address again is 485. No. Oh, you almost let me go that time. I got a little nervous.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm good.
So witches are burning candles, incantations.
Right.
Does he actually give the incantation?
Well, here's the deal. We said that a little bit of the incantation.
Okay. It Billy Oten Bo Bobo and Bid Eaton Dot and Sistumba Centra Rah Rah Rah.
That's exactly it. I have a little bit of bad news for his supporters as well.
Oh, no. Whose supporters?
I'm bringing the pain. Mr. Trump's supporters.
Okay.
President Trump's supporters.
According to this article. Beyond the Darkness.
Not me.
Or
no.
the Jericho Network or Podcast One.
Right. We're just reporting. We're not. Yeah. They don't escape this deal either.
No?
No.
Really?
As the spell asks that their malicious tongues be curbed too.
That's good. I'm all for that. Maliciousness being curbed is good. So maybe there is some positivity towards this. What they're looking for is just to shut down the negativity, shut down the fight, and bring about kumbaya.
We do have free speech in America, though.
Right. Well, free speech is one thing. There's a lot of hate speech being pushed around under the guise of free speech, and that's shenanigans. I'm going to call shenanigans.
Mr. Hughes suggests that instead of the normal closing line, "So mote it be," witches could burn the former Apprentice host's image with the words, "You're fired."
Okay.
The writer said he published details of the spell because he felt it would be very welcome to a lot of people. Under the tenets of witchcraft, a binding spell does not wish harm on its target, but aims to stop them from doing harm themselves. This is not the equivalent of magically punching a Nazi, Mr. Hughes wrote. Rather, it is ripping the bullhorn from his hands.
I know. I'll magically punch a Nazi and get away. Sounds like Lucky Charms guy.
I do remember that commercial as a kid. I do, yeah, I do.
You will give us the Lucky Charms. I know. I'll punch a Nazi and get away.
I think it was Goebbels that was in that one, wasn't it? Yeah. Rather, it is ripping the bullhorn from his hand, smashing his phone so he can't tweet, tying him up and throwing him in a dark basement where he can't hurt anyone. That's pretty specific.
It rubs the lotion in.
Yeah, it's a Buffalo Bill move.
Do you think it'll be Schwarzenegger that'll be that Buffalo Bill for him?
I think so,
It rubs the lotion in. Put my puppy back into the bucket, Donald.
You know, he's done with Apprentice now.
I know. I know because I've read the tweets from the president. Those are the only tweets that fascinate me.
I know. Are you not fascinated by the president's
You're right.
tweets?
I am not.
I'm not either.
Fascinated by the president.
I'm wondering why.
Yeah, it's weird.
Focused on that. Yeah. Mary Pat Azevedo, who took part in the ritual in Arizona, said she saw the ritual as a unity prayer.
Okay.
She told the BBC, "A true witch would never cast a spell on anyone without their permission. This prayer is for well-being and peace for all beings." Ms. Azevedo.
All right. See, that's good to hear.
Yeah. Ms. Azevedo says she hopes to see physical, emotional, and spiritual changes in Donald Trump and American politics. So there you go.
However, if you want to come join me, I will do a special incantation to make him vanish from the planet Earth.
Arnold, that's not right.
No. Yeah. There was some sort of warning on this spell. You're not supposed to do it during a waning crescent moon.
No. Never. You also shouldn't shave your inner thighs during that same time.
Right. But you should make some crescent rolls because they're delicious.
There's never a bad time to make crescent rolls, Tim. All right. Is there a follow-up? Am I seeing that correctly? There's a follow-up to the story?
There is, Dave.
Breaking news from earlier this week.
Exorcists are fearing that witchcraft against Donald Trump could bring up some bad things. We can't use the devil, they say. The devil uses us. That sounds kind of like some sort of protest chant.
What?
We can't use the devil. The devil uses us.
Yeah. I think if you chant that too much, that could cause problems, too.
It could, yeah. Following revelations that witches do plan on casting spells on Donald Trump, Catholic exorcists are saying, hey, you witches! They're not putting it that way, but they're saying there's dangers of meddling in witchcraft, and the growing presence of evil in the world is a bad thing. It's bad.
Well, so this guy didn't read the whole article either to realize that they were putting out positive
unity.
Right.
Yeah. He just went straight for the evil.
Yeah.
Self-described witches from around the world, of course, held the first mass rituals to cast binding spells against Trump and all those who abet him in late February. However, they plan to continue holding the rituals about once a month.
I could go for a good binding spell after eating at Taco Bell.
Oh, you aren't kidding.
Whew.
You know,
that's when you got to hold back the evil. Bind me.
The other place, White Castle. Even more.
Why do you got a bag on it? Everybody already knows that. I had to laugh. One of the Booth brothers, Christopher St. Booth, posted a week ago on his feed. He's like,
I did see that.
I've been living in America and I've never tried White Castle. It's flipping delicious.
Oh, no.
Why haven't I tried? I don't know why I'm all Mick Jagger on this, but he's like, I should have tried this years ago. And then the next day he's like, holy hell, what demon-infested bog have I found myself mired upon? I mean, that's a loose translation from what he wrote.
It's accurate. It's very accurate.
It's pretty close. Yeah. That he was all English manned up. First of all, I've hung out with the Booth brothers. I don't believe for a minute they have never eaten at White Castle before. Yeah, boy. And I think he overdid it on that first shot because,
yes. Yeah.
You know, they are deceivingly good.
They are.
And they will fight their way back out. Those are animals that have not given up the battle.
That's right.
If there's ever a reason for veganism, it's eating White Castle.
That's right. That'll turn you vegan in a hurry.
Moo, I want out.
You'll not contain me in your colon. Boy. Binding spells. We were talking binding spells.
Yes.
So where were we? Oh, yes. So waning crescent moons.
Right.
It got me thinking about crescent rolls again.
That's kind of like a binding spell.
Kind of like a binding spell. The purpose of the binding spell is to prevent Trump from doing any damage to himself or others. However, organizers set up that Facebook page, as we had told you. Catholic exorcists are warning that witchcraft is a work of the devil, and attempting to use it could have grave consequences.
Dun, dun, dun.
The words in the spell, that he may do no harm, sugarcoat the reality that the devil wants the destruction of mankind and never has our best interests at heart, warns an article. Listen to this. It's an article by Patti Smith.
Ooh, from Warrior?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, Scandal.
Scandal, yeah. But she did.
Is it that Patti Smith?
I think it is. She was shooting at the walls of heartache. Bang, bang.
She is a warrior.
Yeah, and then she came up with this deal. Yeah.
Coming from a woman who's married to John McEnroe.
Well, I know.
That's interesting.
She's, all day long, she's probably shooting at him, trying to get him out of the house. Just saying. But that was in the National Catholic Register. Smith spoke to various exorcists who all warned of the power of spells and how it's a symptom of the growing power of evil in the world. Father Vincent Lampert, who has been the designated exorcist for the Archdiocese of Indianapolis and also the designated exorcist for the Minnesota Twins when they need one.
We need one.
Yeah. Since 2005, said the power of spells doesn't come from God. Anyone who would dare say they want the challenge that God is in charge is using the power of evil as their own. They should realize that we can't use the devil. The devil uses us.
See, again, I think this is ignorance at play here. I'm going to stand up for our Wiccan friends.
Okay.
Because I believe that they're not calling upon the devil to do this work.
Right.
This is kind of medieval times thinking that the church is coming forward with. That, they're calling upon the devil. I don't believe that. What they're doing is they're calling upon the power of intention and the power of unity. And the Bible itself, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, aside from saying that Beyond the Darkness is the Bible's favorite paranormal radio show, it also states that when you come together with one or more raised voices, you're more powerful.
Right.
And I think if people are coming together, I think it's so groovy how people are finally coming together, Tim. And they put forward a positive intention to make things better. I don't see how the Catholic Church or anybody could twist that into demonic intervention.
I think you're right.
You know, I think if you're going into it with positivity, and that's what the Catholic Church, I think, is missing on this opportunity. I could be wrong. But if they stepped up and said, you know what, we will stand by the side of these other belief systems, and let's unite all of the different belief systems in one common positive thought to make America great again, make the world great again by bringing people together instead of pushing them apart, and hoping, praying, and setting forth the intention for good things. And again, maybe I'm living in an all supercalifragilisticexpialidocious kind of world, Tim, but I think that would unite more people coming together instead of going to war with each other now between the Catholics and Wiccans.
I hear you. I also think, too, when you said that the Catholic Church was thinking in medieval times, thinking that the only image that sticks in my head is the Pope trying to bless somebody with a turkey leg. I just
what?
Well, you know, the whole medieval times thing. I just
using that as a sepulcher.
Yeah, just trying to baptize somebody with a turkey leg.
Well, did you listen to any of the shows while you were out?
Yes, I did.
Did you hear about? I did not know that the Pope is kind of a voodoo priest in a sense.
A little bit.
When he got down on his knees and kissed the ground twice to make it bad. And where was it? Not the Dominican Republic, but it was someplace like that. And I can't think
in
of
South
where it was.
America, right. Yeah.
They realized that they consider him like this grand wizard for that practice because they said that the Pope tainted the ground there, made things bad happen.
Yeah.
Pope,
see?
come on.
Pope. I hear you. Carrying on with the story, Father Vincent Lampert also went on to say, people can't control it, and the devil ends up using them for his own purposes. Father Lampert counseled before arguing that spells only have an effect on people who are spiritually weak. Monsignor John Esseff, a veteran priest and exorcist in Pennsylvania, said the face of the devil is becoming more clearly seen in public. It's not Trump they're against, but Jesus, the Monsignor said.
I don't think so. Jesus has got pretty good politics. He just wants to love people and feed them fishes and make wine out of water. Who wouldn't vote for that guy?
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, everybody, chill. All right, here, come here. Check out this bottle of Dasani. Pow, wine, chill out.
I mean, if Jesus is running and doesn't get 100% of the vote, what kind of heathen are you?
Right.
I mean, you're like, no, Jesus
that is the original OG party.
Right.
I think that's what it should be.
I mean, if you go to the polls and you go, Jesus is too liberal for me, I just can't. I can't vote for him.
This whole loving one another nonsense is just not working
just
for me.
can't do it, The Monsignor said the devil is saying, no way are you are you reigning? Not resigning, there's no S in there. No way are you reigning in this country. We are coming out against you. Another priest who Smith gave the pseudonym Father Patrick argued that the spell ritual is proof that evil is working against Trump. And so
Come on, Patrick. Evil's working against Trump.
Now, that would make going to Mass a whole new type of entertaining.
What if SpongeBob was your pastor?
Yes, I would totally go Father SpongeBob.
Eat of this, for it's the Krabby Patty I created for you.
It would make confession very interesting. It really would. Excuse me, Father SpongeBob, I've sinned.
Father SpongeBob.
It turns out I inappropriately touched myself.
Oh, Mr. Krabs. That could be dangerous if Mr. Krabs is touching himself.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Confession with Father SpongeBob.
Release the grip. Oh, God.
That would be awesome confession.
Leave the comedy to the professionals. That's what they keep telling us on Twitter and Facebook.
Really?
This is the one show you can skip.
Really? Oh.
We just do it to amuse ourselves, folks.
I know.
All right. Okay, so we got the idea here. Wiccans want to make the world a better place. The Catholic Church wants to separate us from the Wiccans. It's all the devil's work, and the devil inside each and every one of us has a devil inside.
Way to quote In Excess. They're telling us people should continue to pray in the way that they have been praying.
To pray just to make it
That's
today.
right. And now we're quoting Hammer. And the priest went on to advise
Now let's sing from the hymn book.
Turn your hymn books to...
Turn your hymnals to we gotta pray just to make it today.
Father SpongeBob, I tell you, I could go right back to church tomorrow, to any church that had Father SpongeBob.
Would you?
I would.
And now from the poet laureate George Michaels, let's have some faith.
Instead of a communion host and wine, you'd probably have a little bit of weed up there.
I don't think so.
I think
SpongeBob's not about the weed, man.
Come on.
It's all about the Krabby Patty.
If you're above the age of 16 and you're watching SpongeBob, you're probably hitting the J.
Or you're a father with 700 children, much like myself. All right, where are we going next in the world of supernatural news?
You know what? We got a couple of stories here from the world of television that I think we need to address.
Speaking of television, Tim.
Yes.
I got to film for a TV show that apparently has heard about me.
Really?
Yes, they have a new show I believe it's in Canada.
Okay.
It's called Evil Nature. And it's about paranormal experiences that happen in the out of doors, Tim.
Really?
And they wanted me to come share my Bigfoot experience with them. So I filmed with them on Thursday or Friday last week, and they will be airing that episode. I think it's part of season 2. They're filming the end part of season 1 and season 2 right now.
Okay.
So you will not only get to see my story played out, but I did ask that they find an actor that looks eerily similar to me to portray the part.
I wasn't
Macaulay
available
Culkin is going to play my role. No,
Macaulay Culkin?
Yes. I said, let's do like Hollywood. Shake it up. Make me a young, rebellious, in-shape black youth. And I don't know if they're going to buy that, but we're going to try. But no, I seriously, the show, when I heard it's called Evil Nature,
right.
I thought it was about, our evil nature, the devil inside kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just about how bad it is outdoors. And I was like, sign me up. I'll be on every episode. I'm your host. I should be that guy.
Yeah.
So as soon as it's available and out there, they told me they'd let me know. They're going to get me a DVD copy of it. So maybe we'll have to find a cool place here in Minnesota to do a screening.
That'd be cool.
Of Evil Nature.
Yeah.
And you can see my Bigfoot story unfold before your own eyes.
Maybe we could serve trail mix.
Let's all pray.
Serve trail mix and water for snacks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just totally go evil nature with it.
Trail mix, of course, being Nutty Buddies and Twinkies broken up in a plastic bag.
Because we're not
an
savages.
animal, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's interesting. So that I'm doing that show. Very cool.
Nice.
All right, that's enough of a self-egotistical plug, but I wanted to put that out there.
I filmed the show as well while I was out. It's similar to Misery. I was just stuck in bed and somebody broke my ankles with a hammer.
Well, you kind of had it coming.
I did. Yeah.
All right.
We move on to other worlds in TV. With Ghost Adventures, Zach Baggins. There's a couple of stories about him this week. Mm-hmm. He's teasing that his haunted museum, his brand new haunted museum, has some serious activity, Dave.
Oh, really?
Serious activity.
Serious.
Zach Baggins took to Twitter on Thursday to tease fans about some quite serious activity that's been going on inside his Las Vegas-based haunted museum. Mm-hmm. The haunted museum will be opening its doors soon, according to the official website. Fans of Ghost Adventures had been waiting anxiously for the haunted attraction to open ever since Deadly Possessions aired on the Travel Channel last year.
Right.
The haunted museum features a display of all the haunted oddities collected by Zach throughout his ghost hunting career. Taking to his personal Twitter account on Thursday, Zach teased that the Haunted Museum has recently seen some quite serious yet remarkable activity with one of its newest objects. I'm waiting for it to scroll down. Here we go. The retweet prompted a huge reaction from Zach Baggins' hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers, with some asking for a live stream of the place. Why would you do that? Then you're giving away something for free that you should be paying for.
No, I think you totally should do that. I think that would draw more attention if you put a little camera in the corner so people could see when stuff starts getting unhinged. It'd be good for you to do.
I don't know. It's the wrestling promoter in me that's like, you're giving away something for free that you should pay for.
You are so tight.
Now with over 100 comments and nearly 200 retweets, fans of Ghost Adventures are telling Zach to stop teasing and either tell them what the object is or tell them when the haunted museum will open its doors to visitors. But Zach's followers are left scratching their heads with questions, kind of like that, since he hasn't been back to the Twitter post to reply to anyone's comments. One follower asked for just a clue. Just the clue, Zach.
Just give us a clue.
Just a tiny bit of the clue. While another says that Zach just enjoys doing this to us. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, baby. He's enjoying it.
I stopped by there. It's a cool-looking place. It's big. It's really
I saw the picture.
Deceivingly big.
Yeah, I saw the picture of you pointing to it.
Yeah.
Smiling. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Of course, a lot of loyal fans of Ghost Adventures and Deadly Possessions, both hosted by Zach Baggins, already think they know what the object is that Zach's referring to, saying that they would love to see her, referring to Peggy the Haunted Doll. Peggy the Doll is reportedly one of the most dangerous paranormal possessions in the world, is shared by Dread Central, and was acquired by Zach Baggins not too long ago for the Haunted Museum. According to the report, Zach obtained Peggy the Haunted Doll from its previous owner, Jane Harris, from England, which he then featured on Season 1, Episode 3 of Deadly Possessions, a series that showcases some of the haunted artifacts in the Haunted Museum. Harris, a fellow paranormal investigator as well as a haunted doll collector, claims that anyone who sees Peggy the Doll will become ill with dizziness, nausea, and even chest pains, according to a report from Week and Weird. That just sounds like you're having a heart attack.
I'll say something. I do know about a few pieces that he's acquired for the museum that are not public knowledge yet.
Really?
Yes. Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Harris said 80% of the people who come into contact with Peggy experience some kind of bad reaction, which can range from headaches to full-blown mania. WrestleMania!
Oh, yeah, brother.
That is probably why Zach Baggins is making visitors of the Haunted Museum suit up and then wrestle each other in the middle of the museum.
No, he's not doing that.
Okay, he's not doing that.
That's after hours.
Okay. And then they have to sign a waiver before they view Peggy the Haunted Doll. The museum's official Twitter account confirmed that visitors will have to sign a release after one follower asked if the public would be able to visit Peggy. The quote is, Peggy the Doll will be displayed at the Haunted Museum, but releases will have to be signed should visitors want to see her. Zach has also talked about the possible dangers of haunted objects, including Peggy, who he claims has an effect on people who do nothing more than just view a photograph on the internet. He said the objects that I bring in here, they have a lot of things attached to them. It's just a concentrated nuclear reactor of objects and energy. A subreddit devoted entirely to Ghost Adventures asks if anyone has ever seen Peggy the Doll and had any side effects, with most comments saying that they've had no ill effects and weren't bothered at all from watching Peggy on Deadly Possessions. One comment added that it's about the power of suggestion, one thing that Zach Baggins is certainly good at. According to several other comments, Zach is quote-unquote over the top with building tension and anticipation.
Well, that's the idea of TV. you got to build some excitement.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, it's
a
just
little tension. Otherwise, it's like
no ratings, no money, no
we'll be
nothing.
Right back with more ghost hunting.
Otherwise, you know what it is. It's just instead of Haunted Possessions, you just got that Antiques Roadshow on PBS.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you're looking at. And what fun is that?
So, well, you know what? I would be interested. I don't know. When you know that something has that, like Robert the Doll, you're not supposed to take his photograph without asking permission.
Right.
I did.
Uh-oh.
And then I thought, nothing happened to me, but there's been a lot of bad things that have happened. But was that just because life happens and bad things happen? Or did I incite the power of Robert the Doll?
Uh-oh.
Peggy. I wouldn't want, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Would you want something like if you had a museum set up?
Yeah.
Would you want something that could incite mania and vomiting, nausea, upset stomach? I'd be concerned that people might puke.
Not without a Pepto stand there for $5 a shot.
Got to sign a waiver though. Well, that's good. Good planning on his part.
Yeah.
Because people will, and it is, whether it's real or their perceived perception, redundant there. But if it's their perception of what's causing that, it could be just as dangerous.
That is true.
All right.
New season on Travel Channel, Ghost Adventures, March 25th. Be sure to be there.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. I just got done helping them find a really interesting location, a personal story that they went out to help.
Really?
Very, very dark and interesting. All right. What else have you got for us?
Also on the Ghost Adventures train, we'll tell you about this. Zach Baggins also, according to this article, evidently was written by Jamie Sotonoff and Dan Geyer. It said wasn't aware of this person's paranormal gifts when he was a teenager living in Glen Ellen. It says, yet he remembers some weird ghostly stuff that happened to him in the suburbs. This is all written in first person, but this is about the experiences of this person growing up.
Well, then just skip it. Yeah, I just said it was another one of the stories with Zach. Yeah, he grew up in Glen Ellen. He said that was some of his favorite memories growing up there, but he's had experiences there and in Michigan, I think, is the one that really kind of set him on the path of weirdness. Let's do this. We have to take a quick break. We've got more stories to share. We'll get into some parashare if we can. I mean, we have a lot of news stories to cover.
Yeah, we do.
So we'll do that and get back to that when we can. So stay tuned. You got more of the best in paranormal talk radio coming your way. This is Beyond the Darkness.
So far in 2017, Forbes and Podcast One have already launched 3 highly acclaimed shows. The Interview with Steve Bertoni features the business world's most interesting names, like Adam Carolla, Twitter founder Sean Rad, and Hollywood's own Jessica Alba.
So I spent a lot of my childhood in hospital beds.
Under 30 with Steve Goldblum talks to the movers and shakers, like Nation Builder CEO Jim Gilliam and NFL big game winner Martellus Bennett.
Guys are afraid to be themselves because of their marketing deals.
And The List with Art of Charm's Jordan Harbinger.
We'll get behind-the-scenes insight and information that doesn't make the print cut.
Next up, Sports Money with Mike Ozanian talking to team owners, athletes, and industry leaders about the enterprise and money behind supreme athletic competition. Forbes on Podcast One. Not just entertaining, informative. Subscribe now at iTunes. And don't forget to rate, review, and share.
All right, let me bring this. If there's anyone here, you can speak to me now through this device. How many people are here with me right now? Where exactly are you?
We're back, and you're tuned in to Beyond the Darkness. I'm Dave. That's Tim. Hey, we should mention, we had a chance to do something pretty cool.
Yeah.
And had kind of a spiritual moment a couple weeks back. For people that don't know, Prince, of course, is from our town here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Mm-hmm. And he had his living quarters and recording studio where he recorded most of his famous music at Paisley Park, where he passed away last year. Can you believe it's almost been a year?
I know.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah.
They finally opened it up as a museum, and they gave the media a chance to do a walkthrough.
Yep.
And we had a chance to go there. And I will tell you, it's interesting. I've been to Graceland, which is a cool atmosphere, right? And, you know, they have Elvis's grave there.
Right.
So been there, witnessed that. Pretty amazing, right?
They just put a $45 million addition on Graceland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just watching.
What the hell? What did they build?
They put an addition on it where they have
cement ponds.
They have Elvis's cars on display. They have a guitar that only McCartney and Elvis had played. I guess it's worth $1 million.
Wow.
They've done some other things. They put some jumpsuits on display and some other things.
Well, they already had a ton of the jumpsuits.
Right. They put some more stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool. Yeah, I got to keep it fresh, which I think is what Paisley Park is doing.
Yes.
They gave us a chance to do this walkthrough, and on the VIP tour is the one I definitely think you should get involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the After Dark and the VIP tour, because the VIP tour takes you into a few places you don't get to see on the normal tour, and it's well worth it. But just to see the amount of awards this man won and how forward thinking he was, that he kind of set this place up to become a museum someday.
Right.
Awesome place to get to stand in the studios where he recorded some of the most famous music. And I didn't realize how many other celebrities, musicians have recorded at Paisley Park Studios.
Oh yeah.
And, for those of you that don't know, when he passed away, he was cremated, and his urn is in the shape of a miniature Paisley Park.
Yeah.
And you actually get to be there right with it at Paisley Park. And that was kind of a holy beep moment.
Yeah.
So, now I've been to the grave of Elvis and to the grave of Prince. And I've seen Michael Jackson's grave too.
Wow.
Hidden away. Not many people know where it is.
Really?
I've been there. Yeah.
Wow.
So I've been in front of royalty now, Tim.
Yeah.
The king of pop, the king of rock, and the prince of all.
Yeah.
We've been there for that. But I thought it was great. What an amazing chance to get to walk through this man's history and legacy, see handwritten notes.
Yeah.
And they believed in, leaving things as they found them after he passed away.
Yep.
So there's a hat on his one piano he had taken off and set there that will remain there forever. There's handwritten notes that he had around the house and in some of the recording studios that will never be touched and will always be there. But it was pretty fascinating, and it really kind of touches you if you're a fan of music and a fan of this legend to be in that place. And we got to play ping pong on Prince's ping pong table.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun. I think I wouldn't be too sure if maybe 10, 15 years down the road, they open up the living quarters area.
Yeah.
So then they can refresh and give you something for people that have been there, give you some place to come back and see more. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we'll see.
Although, here's the conundrum. Would you want to go through the living quarters? To
Sure.
me,
It's just like going through Elvis's living quarters. It was cool to see the mansion and all the rooms that were important to him and where he slept. And I think as a fan, we all have this ghoulish need and want and desire to see these things.
See, knowing what a private person he was and how incredibly private he was, I was okay with what we saw.
Sure.
And not having to go into
Right, but for
quarters.
marketing reasons, 10 years out, you're going to start, I think it'll start getting stale, and you have to, just like with Elvis's deal.
Oh, I'm sure.
They've got to come up with something new, and I think the new part 10 years down the line will be opening it up. It was interesting, he had that one yellow, like, macrame outfit he wore on one of the music award shows.
Yeah.
That everybody was so blown away because it was, like, assless when he performed.
Yeah, that was after Diamonds and Pearls.
It wasn't actually assless. He had, like, leather or flesh-colored chaps built into it.
like a
So it
cover,
looked like his ass, but it wasn't.
Right, yeah.
I feel so gypped now. So gypped. But all that controversy back then, and it was just like a leather patch on his ass.
Yep.
But it was pretty cool to see the Purple Rain room was amazing. That was just astounding to be there.
Yeah.
See the actual guitar. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, I understand he was a slight man, but his white guitar always looked big to me.
Yeah.
And when you see it, it looks so small and I don't know, it looked like something you'd give a kid.
The instruments were, the guitars were slightly smaller, although there's one that he used on the Gold Experience, which is a gold cymbal.
Right.
And that was a lot bigger than I expected it to be. I mean, it looked like an axe.
But I'll tell you what, I didn't get the sense that Prince was there among us, but I definitely got the sense you could just feel an amount of energy I've never felt before, even at Graceland, with the millions of people that have gone through there.
Mm-hmm.
There was just something, dare I say, mystical about it. I don't know how to explain that. And trust me, I like Prince. I'm not a major Prince fan. Mm-hmm. I thought he was cool and interesting for a while. You and I know I had a falling out with him during his Funky for No Reason Northrop Auditorium concert. And was felt slighted by him after that.
Yeah,
I wanted my dirty little Prince.
Yeah.
But a fascinating man nonetheless, and a huge talent that will be missed. around the world. So it was something to be there and see that. So I'd highly recommend it. If you're a fan of music, whether you were a big fan of Prince or not, I think when you go into this place and just get a chance, you'll see how eclectic this man was and how his mind worked, because you get a feel for it in all of these rooms. The big recording studio we were in, where they did like Bat Dance and all of those songs, that was probably the holy grail moment for me. That in the Purple Rain room, it just really felt saturated with like a very light energy. I'm not a medium or psychic. I'm not a sensitive kind of guy, but that room just felt really powerful to me.
Yeah, that Studio A, that digital studio where greats like Stevie Wonder, Chaka Khan, Miles Davis had recorded as well.
Didn't U2 record in there as well?
Yeah. U2 had done a set. REM.
Yeah, REM. Yeah, there's a ton of musicians in there.
That room, even though the master control side was very dark, everything is very black in there. Everything is very light in the recording side of it. And like you said, even though you look into that blackness, it does feel very light in there. And it has everything to do with the creative energy that's in that room.
You know what I would love to see them do? When I went to Vegas for Super Bowl, my son wanted to see the Cirque du Soleil Beatles Love deal. And I've always been interested in seeing a Cirque du Soleil show. I went with my friend Eric and my dad, and Eric has been to a bunch of the different Cirque du Soleil. He said this was one of the best ones because the music's all recognizable. Yeah. And it's kind of cool to watch this extravaganza. But what was really neat is, like, during some of the bits, they would play sound bites from the recording studio as they were setting up and talking back and forth. Yeah. And I would love for them to, I don't necessarily have to hear Prince's music that didn't get released, but if you went into that recording studio and they'd, if they did something grand, like, it's something to be in here, but imagine during the peak of his creativity to be in here and hear Prince for yourself, and then have a recording fire off of him. Okay, let's go to slide 4. I want to hear more trumpet, just to hear him kind of banding back and forth or laughing and talking about something.
Right.
I think that would be a really impactful moment. And to hear some of these behind the scenes conversations, because that, to me, at the Cirque du Soleil Love show, the Beatles show in Vegas, that was really a nugget. I mean, I love the Beatles music as it is, and I loved seeing their interpretation, and the aerial effects and everything they did was really kind of cool, and the costuming was fun. But to me, the real gem was getting to hear these audio bits between takes of the Beatles talking to one another and having fun doing what they love doing.
They did play a bit of a selection. Prince's last album was an album that he was a jazz album he was recording for Blue Note Records.
Right.
And what's interesting is Prince fans may remember Madhouse, which was a jazz project that he had done. We were in college at the time. They had released a couple of albums under Madhouse. And at the time, it was when I worked with Lake Hammond over at Minnesota Public Radio, he had described it a little bit as Prince's dabbling in jazz, as he put it. And it really was a dabble into a funk-based jazz. But what we heard, the unreleased, really was Prince as a mature musician who'd really discovered his jazz side, who had really discovered jazz and discovered his love of jazz. And it sounded mature, and it sounded good.
Well, and I get that. And it was cool to hear the little audio bits that they played. But there's just something about hearing his voice one more time.
Right.
And hearing him behind the scenes. And if you had that set up with timers and lighting to have it, okay, you see the light kind of light up in the engineer booth as you hear Prince talk, and then as he's directing to something, you see the lights go on in the drummer's room, and you hear the little as they're getting ready. I just think that would really be a really inclusive, amazing moment to just kind of put you back into that moment in time when this took place.
The one moment I would love to hear that there's bootlegs of it out there that you can hear. There's only, I think, 4 songs out there. Is the 4 songs that Prince and Miles Davis put together. And if you could hear the sessions or recording sessions between the two of them in that session, setting that you're talking about, I think that'd be phenomenal.
Or even just if you did like a 30-second snippet from a couple of the major albums that he recorded there.
Yeah.
Of them talking about, all right, let's, for Bat Dance, let's do this, because there's got to be those recordings of them talking back and forth with engineers.
Well, here's the thing, though, too, with songs like Bat Dance, a lot of that was just him. It was just him in the studio layering stuff together. It was his layered vocals. It was
right, but I'm sure he was still talking
too.
Like I said, I just think overall it'd be interesting to hear kind of the background nuances. But I would definitely recommend it. Paisley Park Tours was well worth it. And the food. Did you guys like the food?
You know what? I I liked most of it. There was some of it that I was a little too spicy for me.
You can actually get pancakes.
You can get pancakes there, yeah.
So fun stuff.
Yeah.
But that was cool. And I'll mention real quickly, this weekend opening up is King Kong, the new Skull Island Kong.
Yeah, you went to see it with us.
And, well, you get a chance to RSVP. You've been laid up with a bum wheel. I went to see Skull Island Kong, and it was awesome. It was everything I could have wanted in a Caillou giant monster movie. It was fun. It was irreverent. It was action packed. You know, I loved that last Godzilla movie. That hit on every note for me. My only issue was that it took a little long for the build up to get to Godzilla, but I loved the way they did it. I loved that you were seeing it on newscasts in the background and you could see him. And I loved that they were amping up the deal. What I really disliked about Peter Jackson's was that it took, and you have to look at it was like an hour and 20 or an hour and 40 minutes before King Kong makes an appearance. That is way too long to make you wait to see the main character.
Yeah.
That'd be like a James Bond movie that goes an hour without Bond.
Right.
Who the hell? I want that. Well, this movie heard the problems. They knew what they did. They bring you Kong in right away for just a few seconds to give you that exhilaration feel. And then they build the story around it. And it is such a fun movie. Do yourself a favor. Wait all the way through the credits. It goes to black and you think it's over and then it starts up again. So you got to be patient. But for those of you King Kong fans, Godzilla fans, giant monster fans, you're going to want to see this because it finally ties two worlds together and it's really cool. So I give this a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. Loved it. My boys were enthralled with it. I love this movie. Really a fun one. The other movie I went and saw was Logan. Now, you're a huge Wolverine fan. You got your Wolverine shirt on.
I do.
I know you're not a fan of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
I'm not.
And part of why I guess I've enjoyed the movies as much as I have is I was not Wolverine was an interesting character to me, but I always felt he was very two-dimensional in the comic books. And I've really enjoyed Hugh Jackman's portrayal of him. I went into this one and I made a huge mistake. I brought my 14-year-old and my soon-to-be 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Because it's an X-Men movie, I figured it's going to be, I understood that it was going to be a little darker, but Deadpool has ripped the top off of these kind of movies now. I'm not kidding you. In the first 10 minutes, FU is said at least 5 to 10 times.
Yeah.
Even Professor X is cursing like a sailor.
Oh, yeah.
And it is one of the most violent. I would put this more as a horror movie in some senses. To me, it was like The Transporter meets a Clint Eastwood spaghetti Western and a horror movie all wrapped into one with this kind of dark, brooding story all the way through it. And I liked it. I was intrigued by it. I thought it was a little slowly paced throughout the movie. I thought what was really genius is they're kind of doing this. I don't know how to say this. This doesn't give a plot point away really, but like the world of X-Men comic books exists in this world. At one point, Logan is doing something, he moves it over and there's an X-Men comic with him on it and he rolls his eyes and then makes a comment to Professor X, oh, we have an X-Man fan here. You know, these stories are bullshit and blah, 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 blah. They just fleshed out something that happened and made a big, story out of it. So it's kind of interesting as though we're looking in a real world where comic books were kind of based on real stories that took place. That was an interesting take for me.
Yeah.
But to see Patrick Stewart, I feel in a sense should almost be nominated for an Academy Award for this movie because he plays multiple versions of himself in this movie. And he is really flipping good. For a Wolverine movie, Professor X, I felt kind of stole the show in a lot of ways. The one thing I know people will like is you finally get to see Logan in full berserker rage mode. Which I've always held off on in the other movies.
Right.
So
this is and this takes place. This story is based on the Old Man Logan storyline from the comic. And this is the Wolverine, I think, that every X-Man fan has wanted to see, has been begging to see over the last, God knows how many years.
I got to tell you, though,
2000.
Off air, I swear like a sailor. I have no problem with it. I think words are just words, and I love the F word. To me, it's like putting salt on a meal. It flavors up. You realize just how passionate, angry, or happy you are about something with a well-placed FU, right? In this movie, it felt forced. It felt like, oh, look what Deadpool did. Well, then F this, F that, M or F or F, 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 F. And I just felt like, we get the idea. You're edgy. Let's just move on. And at one point, my son looks up at me and he goes, Dad, why is he saying that so much? And when a kid says that to you, to me, it just felt like, okay, that's overkill. again, I got the idea. Deadpool ripped the Band-Aid off and made it. But I also like that about Deadpool, that was its own self-contained universe and that's okay. I hope, truthfully, I don't mind an occasional curse word in these movies. It's natural part of conversation. And I feel it makes it more realistic in some sense. But I think even you'll see it. At some points, you just feel like, this is overkill. We don't need to hear, this isn't directed by Quentin Tarantino. I don't need to hear F this every 2 minutes. And that's how I felt it was. But overall, I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. And I thought it was entertaining and it was good and it mixed a lot of genres. And I think the only uncomfortable feeling I had through the whole movie was that I was there with a 7-year-old going to see a superhero movie. And I just didn't have a grasp for what this was going to be. And I wish I would have known more about it before I took him to see it.
Yeah.
So don't take your kids.
It is rated R. So
I know. I didn't take him to Deadpool because they were upfront about there's going to be brief nudity and cursing. There was none of that for me in this. It just was going to be, I heard it was going to be more violent, but this is violent. This is, and again, you're right. This is the X-Men Wolverine that everybody's been wanting to see.
Yep.
But beware, because if you bring kids to it, it is violent. I mean, it makes Freddy Krueger and Jason and Michael seem like pansies. Between Wolverine and this little X-23 character, it's brutal. And to see a child be this brutal too is very disturbing.
Well, and X-23 in the comic books is 10 times more berserker than Logan ever could be.
You get that, and he even looks offended in the movie a few times. He's like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
But it delivers on a lot of unfinished promises. It'll be interesting because both actors, Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, have both stepped down, and this was their
final
coup de grace. This was it.
Yeah.
However, they both come forward and said that they would return under 2 conditions. 1, it would be a Deadpool movie, or 2, that they would be involved in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
And I would love to see that happen. I know you have a different feeling on it, but wouldn't you like to see what they do with Jackman as Wolverine after 17 years playing this character? I'd like to see them give him.
I got, to be honest with you, I haven't seen Logan first. I got to see Logan first.
Sure.
And if he can change my mind with this movie, then I would like to see the Hulk and Wolverine go at it once.
Yeah.
On screen.
This also had a very Mel Gibson Beyond Thunderdome feel to it.
Okay.
Because you've got the kids, you've got the old man kind of pairing up with, so there's kind of that vibe.
And the Reavers, yeah.
Even down to them shaving him while he's unconscious. So it's kind of, it's very similar in those senses. So I feel they tipped their hat to a lot of really cool genres in this movie and gave you a bunch of different things to look at. And it's a good movie, powerful.
It'll be interesting, too, to see, because James Mangold was the director of this film. He was also the director of the last one, the last Wolverine movie.
Which I thought was much better than the first Wolverine movie.
Right, much better than the first one, but it was just, It wasn't, there was nothing spectacular about the last one. It was just there. So,
all right, well, let's get back into some supernatural news, but I wanted to at least cover that because people are always looking for good movies. King Kong kind of fits in that cryptid realm, and I love the idea that there might be a place where things still exist. Like that. And Wolverine was a really kind of just a really powerful story I think people will enjoy, but just beware, see it before you decide to take your kid to it. Faux show.
There you go.
And definitely go see Paisley Park. That's well worth the investment again, whether you're a Prince fan or not, to just be kind of saturated in his grooviness is cool. And to be there right by his urinal. Good. Well, there is. The golden urinal.
Right?
No, but his funeral urn. You get to be right there by it, and it's respectfully placed somewhere. I don't want to give it away because I want you to not know when you go in there, and then when they reveal it to you, I want you to have that kind of awe and amazement that we did.
Yeah.
But well worth it. His urinal.
I was going to say, did you use the bathroom there? I didn't.
Please, if you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie, wipe the seat.
That was the weird that was the one point I didn't want to hear his voice, but I guess it was okay that recording plays at that moment.
That's kind of a sweet touch.
Then as you fart in there, you hear, somebody's getting funky for no reason. Oh, God. Just to say you farted in Prince's house, that made it all worthwhile. And I got to dance at Prince's house.
Yeah.
I got down with my bad self.
You did?
Yeah.
Because
I was slow dancing by myself, which made everybody there really uncomfortable, especially security. But I had a good time.
It's when you went to kiss yourself that it got weird.
Kidding myself. All right, where are we going in the world of supernatural?
Oh, Dave, we're going to Florida.
Oh, why?
Why should we stay away from Florida?
Oh, bullocks. What's going on in Florida?
A Florida Florida face biter, Dave. A Florida face biter, which is hard for me to say 10 times fast, said he fled a demon-like figure before killings.
Uh-oh.
Yes, a Florida college student accused of randomly killing a couple in their garage and chewing on the dead man's face told television psychologist Phil McGraw he was fleeing a demon-like figure named Daniel. Oh, Daniel, my brother.
I think the only demon you're fleeing was yourself, and that you, sir, are a master biter.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
And only had a vague recollection of the slangs.
Yeah.
Just vaguely, yeah. In a 22-minute interview released on Tuesday by prosecutors Austin Haroof, he said he lost his wits as he walked back to his father's home after storming out of a restaurant where they were having an argument.
Yeah, so this is an update to a story. I think we reported on this last year with Darkness Radio.
Right.
True Crime Tuesday.
Right. McGraw asked about the devil talking to you, and Haroof went on to describe a dark figure he called Daniel, which is also an Elton John song.
Daniel, my demon, you were evil as me. Yeah.
I got scared out of my mind, Haroof told McGraw, who interviewed him, by computer when the former...
Because there ain't no way I'm going to get in person with that guy if he's got the devil in him and wants to bite me, because look at me, I'm tasty.
I am not beef jerky.
I don't know why my Phil McGraw sounds more like George Bush on helium.
He does, a little bit. When the former high school wrestler and football player was still hospitalized last fall, that's when he interviewed him by computer. The 20-year-old Haroof was arrested upon release from the hospital for the August 15th death of John Stevens, a 59-year-old landscaper, and his wife, Michelle Michonne, 53 as well. Both had been beaten and stabbed. He could face the death penalty if convicted of murder. The interview, which is now evidence in the case, was scheduled to air on McGraw's Dr. Phil show last October 28th, but was pulled at the last minute without explanation. Prosecutors released it without comment after NBC affiliate WPTV hired lawyers to seek its release under the state's public information law. Haroof, a bodybuilder who majored in exercise science at Florida State University, said he stripped off most of his clothes, of course he did, as he tried to run away from Daniel because he had to show off his pecs. McGraw asked what he was thinking. He said, "I just need to find someone to help me to figure out where I am," said Haroof, speaking in a steady, even voice as his father, dentist Wade Haroof, stood just off camera. "I don't even remember what I said to myself. I just remember being afraid and scared." He said he doesn't remember how he came to face-to-face with Michonne in the couple's garage. He said she screamed, and then it's a blur. "I don't remember what she said. I just remember being yelled at," Haroof said. He said he grabbed a machete he found in their garage, but he doesn't remember why he killed her and her husband.
Devil inside. Devil inside.
Pretty much.
Each and every one of us has a devil inside.
You're kind of on that Hutchins kick today.
I like inks. What can I say?
I see. It's like it happened, but I wasn't aware of it at the time, Haroof said, crying. I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you." Haroof said he drank something he found in the garage after the attack. He refused to say what it was. It severely burned his esophagus. I'm guessing it's gasoline. He denied ever using steroids or hallucinogenic drugs such as Flocka or bath salts. None showed up in his blood tests. When sheriff's deputies arrived, they found Haroof on top of Stevens, chewing his face. Not the most stable guy in the group.
Oh.
It took numerous deputies, jolts from an electric stun gun, and bites from a police dog to pull him off. They said they didn't shoot Haroof because they feared hitting Stevens. McGraw ended the interview by promising to work with Haroof's father to learn why he snapped. "You keep hanging in there, but we are going to look for answers," McGraw told him. Haroof's family said he had been acting strange for weeks before the attack. His mother, Mina Haroof, told police he claimed to have superpowers and that he had been sent to help people. She said his bed had been moved to the garage because he thought there were demons in the house, and that a few hours before the attack, she stopped him from drinking cooking oil from the bottle, only to find him eating a bowl of cooking oil and cheese. Something tells me
he heard
that
deep frying it's bad, so maybe he was just trying to cut out the middleman in there.
Well, and if he's built and he's stripping off his clothes to show everybody,
Folks,
he's not going to
do us a favor. Seriously, if you find yourself in a rage where you're suddenly craving human flesh, do us a favor and instead just visit our advertiser, HelloFresh.
Right.
And get yourself involved in that because you can get boxed meals delivered to you. You don't even have to put any thought or preparation into it, Tim. They give you everything well measured out.
Well, yeah.
And you can eat like a king, and it doesn't entail you beating anybody to death and eating them in their garage.
That's right.
And here's the best part, Tim. I know you want to know that there's more. Did you know if you go to HelloFresh, if you go to HelloFresh and use the unique promo code DARKNESS, you could save 35 off your first week of deliveries.
Wow.
You and I are using HelloFresh.
Yes, we are.
This, if anything, is a call to arms, Tim. Stop eating each other.
Right.
Let's make Tim's premonition that the Terminator will come before the zombie apocalypse.
It's gonna.
Let's stave it off by everybody signing up for HelloFresh. Right. Get great meals delivered to your home for you or your family. You can choose the meals, and they have good, healthy alternatives to human facial nibbling.
Put down the cooking oil and cheese, for God's sake.
Exactly. I mean, sure, that's a simple meal, but they make it even more simple, and you can cook like a gourmet chef with HelloFresh, Tim. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That might be the way to do this going forward.
Of course.
And I don't like to brag. Down 15 pounds. You're down
20
pounds. 20 pounds, son.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And you're eating good food for once.
I am.
And you know what is surprising to me with HelloFresh?
What's that?
Only takes less than 30 minutes to cook most of these meals for me and my family.
Yeah.
So I don't have to spend hours in a maddened, zombie-like state wanting to eat the flesh of humans. I can just cook in a half an hour. Boom, I've got good meals.
That's true.
From salmon to chicken to beef to stir fry. And Tim, for those vegan zombies out there that just want to eat the face off of a potato, right? They even have veggie boxes, family boxes, the classic box, which you and I like because we both enjoy a little meat now and then.
Love some meat.
Yeah. So if you want, go sign up for it. HelloFresh, they're one of our advertisers, and they would appreciate it. We'd appreciate you stop eating each other.
Yes.
And take advantage of this deal. Remember that when you go to the special call for action here and you want to go sign up for it, you'll be thankful you did. Even Katie Hart from Darkness Radio has gotten a part of the HelloFresh now. She's eating it.
Nice.
She's on board with us. But you can save yourself $35 off your first order just by adding the special unique promo code DARKNESS at checkout on your first order for $35 off. You'll be thankful you did.
Yeah.
That's from your pals. That's not even an advertisement. That's more of a customer service. That's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for, Tim? A
public service
service announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, from your pals wanting you to eat right and avoid human fleshes and bites and just eat healthy fresh, Tim. That's the best way to go.
That's right. That's right. The one thing you shouldn't do, though, is throw knives.
What?
Yeah, don't throw knives while you're preparing your food.
No. You should never throw knives, Tim. It's dangerous.
Right.
What, do you have a story about knife throwing?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
What a lead in.
But not by humans, Dave, by poltergeists throwing knives.
By what?
Poltergeists throwing knives at officers.
And are they poultry knives?
They're poultry knives, yes.
Poultry knives, poltergeist. Good God. Try to say that 10 times fast.
No.
I said try.
Poultry knives, poltergeists.
That was one time slow, but nice try.
Okay.
All right.
And missing those officers by just mere centimeters. Why? Because it's hard for the undead to hit accurately. I don't know why.
No,
yeah.
I don't either.
Wait,
what's the story now? I'm lost.
Terrible. Police ran in terror from a house after a poltergeist threw a 15-centimeter knife at them, narrowly missing them. Yeah, like that. They are understood to have been called to a bungalow, or to the bungalow, or any bungalow for that matter, after reports of a fire hazard in the building. But they were not given the warmest of welcomes after apparently being targeted by a ghoul. Not a boy, but a ghoul, Dave.
I got you.
Right. Bizarre footage taken outside the house appears to show a plate being thrown and lights being switched on and off. Police later found burnt mattresses and broken lampshades scattered through the property in...
Boy, those poltergeists, they should be called partygeists. Those guys know how to party, Tim. Lampshades and all, huh? Oh, knock it off.
They found burnt mattresses and broken lampshades scattered through the property in Puerto Montt in Chile.
They are the afterlife of the party, that's for sure. I got a million of them, Tim.
I see what you did there. I see. One of the officers first on the scene said upon entering the home, we could see that surprisingly items fell from the walls. Just as I was coming in the door, a 15-centimeter knife brushed my back. Thank God I had the bulletproof vest, so there was no injury. Ooh, a bulletproof vest stopping a knife.
Well, yeah, Tim. I mean, if you could stop a bullet being shot at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and that's science, man. I think you can stop a poltergeist throwing a knife.
Interesting theory. Despite a thorough search, nobody was found inside the house. A family that had been living there has refused to return, saying that they fear for their safety. Arturo Sanchez, an official looking into the incident, told a local radio station on Monday this is a situation that is totally paranormal in character. A family is being frightened at home because of a very strange situation that was happening days ago, and that today they have reached their peak. The goings-on at the house has attracted huge crowds with up to 200 people gathering outside, according to Sanchez.
Are they mental? There's knives being thrown.
Well, evidently they're quite good at catching them if they're
no dice.
gathering on the lawn.
Yeah.
Religious heads have been asked to perform spiritual rites at the house in order to drive away the spirits. And there you be. Yeah. Knives, Dave.
I guess so.
Knife-throwing ghosts.
Poultry knives.
I'm surprised that Barnum and Bailey has not shown up to recruit these poltergeists.
They are party going.
Yeah.
Poltergeist, poultry knives throwing. Fun, Tim. That's all it is.
Yeah, I know.
Barnum and Bailey, yeah, they're done.
Well,
I think they're doing their last tour, and this is it. They're done.
Still, I mean, a knife-throwing ghost, maybe that'll get the money coming in.
I feel bad because, we've read a lot of these creepy clown stories over the last year and a half.
Right.
You know that the Barnum and Bailey clowns are like huge fans of our show.
I know.
They listened to us when they were touring.
Right.
They're very heartbroken, as we are. I mean, it's kind of a shame to see the circus go away. I understand the whole animal controversy.
Right.
And I understand that. Okay. But it's kind of a shame to see that kind of family entertainment going to the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good entertainment. I love the circus.
Yeah.
I used to go to the circus as a kid. Very sad.
They keep trying to shove you in the JoJo the monkey face boy cage.
They did. Yeah. But
JoJo, get back in the cage. JoJo, I'm Tim Dennis. JoJo, get back in the cage.
You know what's fun about that cage though?
What?
Good food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it healthy fresh?
No.
Well, then how can you call it good food, sir?
So it was the only thing I was fed as a kid.
Did I mention that's one of our advertisers on the show, Tim?
Is it?
Healthy Fresh. And if you go to healthyfresh.com, for your first order, you can save $35 by adding the special code.
It's HelloFresh.
That's what I said, HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
But I mean, they're so healthy and fresh, Tim.
Right.
HelloFresh. Pay attention to what I mean, not what I say. For God's sakes, Tim.
Okay.
We've been friends long enough that you should be reading my mind.
Okay. I am reading your mind.
Go to HelloFresh.com because HealthyFresh.com could be porn. I'm not sure. But check out HelloFresh.com and at checkout, use special code DARKNESS in order to get $35 off your first order.
Right. Right.
I love our advertisers, Tim. They're good to us and they keep us on the air. So I'm just going to throw that in when I can.
Well,
yeah. All right. Have you got another quick story for us?
I do. We continue in South America, in Chile, to be exact.
Speaking of Chile, Tim, did you know HelloFresh has their own homemade Chile?
They do?
I don't know. I'm sure they do. I'm going to find out as it gets closer to football season, which I can't wait for.
I can't either.
All right.
We're drafting like way, way down in the second round.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on in Chile?
According to a Fox News report, a group of militarized police in Cabaneros, Chile, Chile, were spooked after experiencing what they reported to be a sequence of paranormal occurrences in a home they entered after a terrified household made the call.
Do tell.
Upon arriving, we could observe that there were several broken windows and mattresses outside the house.
God, ghosts hate mattresses.
They do. It's like they can't do the horizontal polka anymore, so why not throw the mattress right out the door?
Right. Well, if you could float in the air and do it, why would you want to lay down?
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Evidently, we won't have any mattress sponsors in the next few
Ghost
weeks.
Mattress. I'm trying to get them on board.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost
That's all I'm going to say. We can't keep advertising them because they're not on officially with us.
I know. But get on the program and let's get you going.
Mattress.
Yeah, Ghost Mattress.
Or Ghost Bed, I think it's actually
Is
called.
it Ghost Bed?
Yeah.
Get on the program and let's get talking about
Ghost Mattress and Healthy Fresh, you're not going to find our advertisers.
Yeah, you won't find it. But HelloFresh is on the program.
Yeah, and Possible Potential. You know what? As a matter of fact, you should all email Ghost Bed and tell them to advertise on our show because we're good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll get plenty of plugs.
Yeah.
Upon arriving, we could observe that there were several broken windows and mattresses outside the house. Police Sergeant Boris Olivaria, Dave, told the local press concerning his visit to the home in the southern city of Puerto Montt. The family told us that there had been paranormal activity. At first, it was strange, but once inside, I was questioning one of the owners when a towel fell down from the attic.
Not a towel from the attic! Oh, my God!
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't sound real scary, I'm not going to lie.
No, it just sounds like somebody was showering up in the attic.
Or hung it on a railing and it slipped off. Right. I wouldn't jump to the conclusion that it's poltergeist.
Right. Olivaria also said he believes he was attacked personally while in the house. Thank you for that. I called upon the devil, telling him to get out of there. And when I was leaving, I felt a knife that grazed my back. Oh, you know what? This is a copy of the other
this is
story.
just a version of the other story?
Yeah.
Oh, in Chile.
In Chile.
All right. So we got the
nice,
idea of it. But
so nice we read it twice.
Yeah, just different versions of the story.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I sent them to you. But it looked like two different stories, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
My fault.
It was nice.
My fault.
That's all right. We'll read another ghost story. How does that sound?
Sure. Sounds good.
A mom panics as a shape-shifting ghost scratches her at a haunted house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
A terrified young mom claims she has been forced out of her council flat by evil spirits, which have scratched her and tormented her toddler son.
No good.
No good. Although she is really, really cute, Dave. Not going to lie.
The toddler son? That's weird.
No, the lady.
You are.
Lady, cute lady.
Oh, yeah. Oh, pretty lady.
Pretty lady.
With the blonde hair and the blue eyes.
Yep. 21-year-old. I'm thinking they're missing an R here. Her name is Tacey Bruce. Either that or her parents were brain damaged.
Tacey Bruce?
Tacey Bruce.
Well, wait a minute. So Tacey means that their parents were brain damaged, yet I have a daughter named Pacey?
Well,
what do you say about me?
No, but you wouldn't put an
How's
R
that
in
corner
there.
you found yourself painted into, Mr. Dennis?
No, there's no corner being painted here because you wouldn't name your daughter Pracy.
But don't worry, if you get painted in a corner, Tim, you can still order HelloFresh. They deliver.
They deliver to my
They
corner?
do. Yeah, they will.
Really?
Yeah, your corner of the earth right here.
So if I use the keyword darkness, I get $35 off my first
It's not
order.
keyword, Tim. Don't
I'm
get
sorry,
mistaken. No, it's
phrase.
it's the unique promo code darkness.
Promo code darkness.
You save $35 off that first order when you paint yourself in a corner.
to my painted corner.
Yes, exactly.
All right. I'm just clarifying. Tacey Bruce says the ghosts take the forms of a child, man, or animal and are picking one on 1-year-old Josh.
That sounds like most men.
Yes.
Sometimes act like an animal, mostly like a child.
Child, man, or animal. You could be either one. The spooky goings-on at her one-bed flat in York include toy cars making noises when they are switched off and plugs pushing themselves out of the walls. Most disturbing, though, is her claim that she was scratched by a claw. Bear claw.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious donuts. But
scratched by a claw.
We don't eat bear claws, Dave. Why?
Bring me gadgets.
Was it that claw?
Yes, it was that claw.
Excellent.
Yeah. This comes as footage emerged of a house, so haunted police evacuated it. Seems to be the theme of the night. Describing,
No, it is supernatural news, Tim. You are correct.
Describing the attacks, Tacey said, 4 days ago, I went back to the flat and ended up being scratched. I know it seems far-fetched, but I had my hairdryer plugged into the wall, and the plug came out of the socket all by itself.
Not a plug coming out of the socket by itself, Tim!
Yeah.
That, again, is not real chilling to me.
No. Not very.
Very tame ghost.
Very anticlimactic. Yeah. I then went downstairs with a pain on my back, and there was a big 5-centimeter scratch.
What does that equate to in American words, Tim?
In American, I think 5 centimeters is about
32 inches?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 32 inches.
Using the conversion chart.
Yeah. That's how big the new implant is that the doctor gave me.
Oh.
About 32 centimeters.
I see. That is one big toe.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked like a claw mark and it disappeared the next day, she continued. She has even taken a series of pictures in which she claims captures the spirits. Speaking about the pictures, beauty therapist Tacey said, I'm sick of people telling me they are reflections, light or dust. Oh, look at that. It's a nice orb.
You know what it looks like? Reflections. Or is it light or
dust?
Or it could be dust.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm sorry, Tacey.
She added, I'm petrified to go back there with my son. I feel uncomfortable in there.
Tim, would you be willing to go with her? Bad leg and all? Would you be willing to escort said beautiful woman back in there?
I'll roll into that 1-bedroom flat with her, sure.
Maybe she should remove her shirt so you can see if any scratches suddenly appear before your eyes.
I should take a
It's
closer
all for
look.
science. For science!
Yes. I'm all about the science. Yeah. Science. S-I-E-N-S. Science. Right.
Yeah.
She added, I'm petrified to go back in there with my son. I feel uncomfortable in there, and the atmosphere changes at night. I'm sure it will, especially when I come in there to check out the science.
He'll be doing the poltergeist polka with you.
Yeah. Posturpedic polka.
No, it's poltergeist polka.
Poltergeist polka.
It's paranormal.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a lot of strange banging in the night, right?
It is. Yes,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Remember to tip your waiters and wait staff.
My son would be screaming from morning to night, and so will you, Tacey. No. And soon he came out of the house.
Yeah, but usually it's, let me out! He won't let me out!
Well, it's hard when you're chained to the radiator.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding.
You are an old romantic.
I am. As soon as he came out of the house, he was a completely different child, she said.
It seems like it.
Yeah. Tacey also says she has videos of orbs and beams of light moving quickly across the room. Of course she does. She says Josh has become inconsolable while in the house and believes the ghosts are tormenting him. She added, I felt like something is making me angry, and it changes how I think and feel.
Uh-oh.
It's called a 1-year-old.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never believed in ghosts before, but I do now, and nobody can say to me they don't exist.
They don't exist.
Oh, they don't exist.
What's she going to do?
Yeah. Despite her fears, City of York Council has refused to allow her to move flats, and she is living with her parents instead. James Bailey, Landlord Services Manager, said, in line with our usual assessment processes, we have considered the evidence provided, visited the property, and interviewed the tenant. We have found that the case does not meet the criteria to move the tenant, who we have advised on their rehousing options. Yeah, so there you go.
All right. I think we have time for maybe one or two more short stories. You know what? I gave you one. We're not going to have time for Parashare tonight, but I gave you one that I really want you to play. This is actually from a TED Talk.
A TED Talk.
You'll see it in there, I believe.
Yep.
And this, I think, is important because, you know, we love to talk about the supernatural, the paranormal, but we also like to educate you and enlighten you. We're not going to play the entire thing, but I think the opening monologue by this woman, and who is it, Tim? What's her name?
Her name is it Carrie Poppy?
Okay. And her TED Talk was a scientific approach to the paranormal. And she gives some really important insight that I think could save lives. And I'm not being sarcastic. I know that there's a lot of times we say things in jest, but I heard this TED Talk. It amazed me for what it was. And I really want all of our listeners to hear this. And whether you share this entire show with people or just this segment, this could be one of the most important stories. And again, this is not a joke. I really think people that think that they're having paranormal experiences in their house, Tim, should hear this story. So I'll signal when to stop it. But this is an actual TED Talk, and we'll just go from there so you can hear it. But please do take notice of this. And again, I promise I'm not kidding. This is very serious. Go ahead, Tim.
Eight years ago, I was haunted by an evil spirit. I was 25 at the time, and I was living in a tiny house behind someone else's house in Los Angeles. It was this guest house. It had kind of been dilapidated, not taken care of for a long time. And one night, I was sitting there, and I got this really spooky feeling. Kind of the feeling like you're being watched, but no one was there except my two dogs, and they were just chewing their feet. And I looked around, no one was there, and I thought, okay, this is just my imagination. But the feeling just kept getting worse, and I started to feel this pressure in my chest, sort of like the feeling when you get bad news, but it started to sink lower and lower, and almost hurt. And over the course of that week, this feeling got worse and worse, and I started to become convinced that something was there in my little guest house haunting me. And I started to hear these sounds, this whoosh, kind of whisper, like something passing through me. And I called my best friend, Claire, and I said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I think there's a ghost in my house. I need to get rid of it. And she said, she's very open-minded, and she said, I don't think you're crazy. I think you just need to do a cleansing ritual. So get some sage and burn it and tell it to go away. So I said, okay. And I went and I bought sage, and I had never done this before, so set the sage on fire, waved it about, and said, go away. This is my house. I live here. You don't live here. But the feeling stayed. Nothing got better. And then I started to think, okay, well, now this thing's probably just laughing at me because, it hasn't left, and I probably just look like this impotent, powerless thing that couldn't get it to go away. And so every day I'd come home, and you guys, this feeling got so bad that, I mean, I'm laughing at it now, but I would sit there in bed and I would cry every night. And the feeling on my chest got worse and worse. It was physically painful. And I even went to a psychiatrist and tried to get her to prescribe me medicine, and she wouldn't, just because I don't have schizophrenia. Okay. And so finally I got on the internet and I Googled hauntings. And I came upon this forum of ghost hunters, but these were a special kind of ghost hunters. They were skeptics. And so they believed that every case of ghosts that they had investigated so far had been explained away by science. And I was like, okay, smart guys, this is what's happening to me, and if you have an explanation for me, I would love to hear it. And one of them said, okay, have you heard of carbon monoxide poisoning? And I said, yeah, like gas poisoning? So carbon monoxide poisoning is when you have a gas leak leaking into your home. And I looked it up, and the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning include a pressure on your chest, auditory hallucinations, whoosh, and an unexplained feeling of dread. So that night, I called the gas company. I said, I have an emergency. Need you to come out. Don't want to get into the story now, but I need you to come out. They came out. I said, I suspect a gas leak. They brought their carbon monoxide detector. And the man said, it's a really good thing that you called us tonight, because you could have been dead very soon. 37% of Americans believe in haunted houses. And I wonder how many of them have been in one, and how many of them have been in danger. So that haunting story has led me to my job. I'm an investigator, and I'm an investigator in two senses. I'm an investigative journalist, and I'm also an investigator of the claims of the paranormal and claims of the...
Now, I want you to go see the whole rest of this TED Talk, so we'll post it up on our Facebook feed, and we'll post it up on our Twitter feeds as well, so you can see the entire thing. But again, Tim, that's why I said, and I meant it wholeheartedly, this was more of a public service announcement, and I'm glad that she put this together, because I worry that maybe there are people that are dealing with this, and it could be a carbon monoxide leak.
Yeah.
You can get CO2 detectors or carbon monoxide detectors for your home. I know some of them can be quite pricey, but you can die in your sleep if you're not, you could die, period, if you're not taking care of it. And a lot of what is described in the paranormal is exactly what carbon monoxide poisoning also shows up as.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's it. Well, that's it for us tonight, folks. We'll leave you on that note, kind of a public service reminder from your buddies here at Darkness Radio, Beyond the Darkness. I want to thank you guys all for joining us. Got a great week lined up again for you. This week on Tuesday, the Beast of Boggy Creek, searching for Southern Sasquatch. We've got Lyle Blackburn joining us tomorrow on the show. Wednesday, the Great Pyramid Hoax, the conspiracy to conceal the true history of ancient Egypt. Scott Crichton from Scotland will be joining us, Tim. Then on Thursday, the Ghost Brothers. We're going to be talking with Dalen Spratt from the TV series Ghost Brothers on TLC. And then Friday, would you believe it? Mysterious tales from people you'd least expect. So that's what's on slate for this week. And do me a favor, I just got done hosting Coast to Coast AM this last week, and we did a much larger version of The Day Satan Called. Yep. And really a great turnout for callers and listeners as well. If you've missed it and you want to be able to catch up with the 4 years of shows that I've done on Coast to Coast AM, visit coasttocoastam.com and become a Coast Insider. It's a 1-year subscription. 15 cents a day gets you access to thousands of past archives going back 5 years. I've been doing the show now for 4 years, so that'll give you access to every episode I've ever done. And I'm usually on 2 to 3 times a month, so you can find that information. I'll be visiting again with Coast to Coast AM on the 25th of this month, so make sure that you write that on your calendar and spend some time with us. But tune in tonight on Coast to Coast AM. George Norrie will be talking with Matthew Swain, Hauntings and Legends of Country Music. He'll also spend time